All right, traders, if you had followed my trading plan and last night's analysis, you should have had an amazing green day. I made it very, very clear in terms of the lesson that I posted yesterday that if the SPY gaps down, this is what I had to say in the pre-market analysis to the Team Trader Society, if we gap down, I am interested in calls at our lower levels that have not been tested. You guys know the SPY loves to bounce at our lower key support levels that have not been tested. Even if the overall trend goes bearish and it pushes lower, it should bounce at our level first for the vast majority of the time, making a very lucrative scalping opportunity on the SPY. And you can see the level that I gave them was $428.90, which was the exact lows literally on the day. How more accurate can you be giving a trading plan one day in advance? It is not accident that our team is not only all green, but we are pushing record-breaking highs on the polls. We now have 103 people green, literally only one person red. To the person red, I expect a trade recap from you. I expect an essay from you on how you were able to go red. What makes you different from us? Because I would love to learn from your mistakes that you're making. Now, with that being said, I want to give a big shout out to myself because the reason why this team is becoming so successful is because of the work that I've been putting in. I've been focusing on myself. I cut off relationships. I'm not in any relationships with a girl. I'm not drinking anymore. I'm putting all my time and effort into my career, into my skill set, into myself, and into my team. And it's paying off. That discipline and that hard work is paying off. But not only do I want to give a shout out to me, because it's not all me. I want to give a big shout out to G-Roar. G-Roar is the best day trader in the chat. I'm considered to be the best scalper in the chat. We have fused together with our strategies and we are creating an amazing team that is pushing 95% plus green every single day, man. We're killing it. I am back on the green day. Tomorrow will be the beginning of my green streak. I ended up making a little bit over $3,500 in profit today. And with that being said, I want to give a big shout out to G-Roar because he has changed my life and he has changed many people's lives within this chat. He has helped make us a lot of money and he's really helped push me to do the things that I'm supposed to be doing. As you can see right here, this was one of his best trades that he made on the day. He ended up buying SPX calls at $1.70. The bottom of these calls were at 70 cents. He alerted at 3:56 p.m. If you look at those call options, in 3 minutes from his alert, they went from $1.70 all the way to $8. He flipped $170 to $800 in 3 single minutes scalping SPX. And he does this every single day, man. He is racking up multiple 100% returns on his smaller account, if not 1,000 to 2,000 plus percent returns. That's what makes him different, man. He's an absolute beast. He had over 10 wins today within the chat and he's crushing it. And I truly am blessed and grateful for him to be in this chat because I know he's the best and everyone does. And the results are speaking for themselves. Ever since we fused, we've never been better than ever. And we will continue to push higher. So with that being said, let's prepare to trade the best setups at the best prices. Let's get ready for tomorrow's market plan. Let's go over the key levels where we are interested in buying call options and making money as the market's reversing, as the market's pushing up. And let's go over our key levels to make money shorting the market as it's reversing, as it's pushing down, because we like to make money both ways. Let's prepare to trade the best setups at the best prices. I'll be sharing with you my analysis. I'll be explaining to you the key patterns that I'm looking at, and I'll be explaining to you how I plan to trade what I see and how I plan to react accordingly instead of blindly trading key levels or blindly trading a pattern that I'm seeing instead of being biased that sense, right? I will show you how to trade. Let's get straight into it. So this is what you need to understand. In terms of the SPY, we need to go over the daily candle first. Based off of the daily candle that I am seeing, and what I'm doing is every single time I look at the daily chart, I study the daily pattern. I take a look at what happened on today's candle. I also go back to a few days before that, and I see throughout the chart history if I can find some sort of pattern within the SPY. So what is the pattern that I'm seeing? I am seeing a pattern where the SPY overall is going to try to chop and push higher. That's what it's going to try to do. It's going to try to chop in a zone and it's going to try to push higher within time. Now, the way to profit off this pattern that I'm seeing is going to be buying call options at our key support levels, and it's also going to be buying put options at higher resistance levels that have not been tested. That's how we're going to protect ourselves from the potential move up later into the week and from the potential chop that's going to try to push higher. And when it pushes higher, it should try to drop first before trying to push higher. That is the most likely outcome that I'm seeing. Now, in terms of other possibilities, we could go a little bit bearish. Now, if we do go a little bit bearish, I genuinely believe that the bottom is near. I think the bottom is near for the overall short term, the market. Remember, we're scalping, we're day trading. This is short term analysis. So in terms of that level, like if we did flip a little bit bearish, what would be the absolute best level to be buying call options? Right down this level. The absolute best level, if we flip bearish, is going to be this level right here. 425.80 to 426. That is key support that has not been tested. If the zone that I give you is reacting bearish, that's where we're going to go to, and that's where you need to be buying call options for the reversal. And I will explain to you that zone of flipping bearish very, very shortly. So write down that level. Now, let's discuss the zone. So if this pattern that I'm seeing repeats itself, the SPY is going to try to chop in a zone, push higher, and then when it pushes higher, it's going to have nice drops for puts, in my opinion. Or if it flips bearish, then we're just going to look to buy calls at the lower level, 425.80 to 426, right? So if we play calls at the higher level, thinking it's bullish and thinking that other things going to happen, we're just going to get stopped out, take our small loss, we'll make all the money back and more because of risk management and position sizing, right? We work in percentage returns, not in dollars. Our percentage gains are always going to be higher, and we're trading risk management properly where the size is accordingly. So in terms of the SPY, this is what I want you to understand. You need to understand 425.80 to 426 is the best level for calls if we flip bearish. Now, in terms of being bullish, what is the key support level above that where you need to attempt to buy calls? It's going to be right here, 428.30. Why is this key? Because the SPY keeps on bouncing at key support levels that have not been tested. The overall bottom is near, and this is a key support level that has not been tested in the pre-market that triggered a major bear trap. Within one single hour, it went from 428 to 431 almost from our key levels. And I gave you the exact low. I told you in the video, I told you, you're going to want to buy calls at 428.90. The low of day is 428.72. Nobody out there is giving you that information. So what I'm telling you now is the new best level for calls, if we are speaking on levels that have not been tested, is 428.23. If it works out, we make money, great. If we play it for whatever reason, it doesn't work out, we get stopped out, we make it all back at 425.80 to 426, and we make a lot more than what we lost. That is our game plan for call options. That is the best setups at the best prices. Those are our new key levels for call options. Now, we need to discuss the put options. Where are the key levels to short the market? Where are we interested in buying put options for very, very quick scalps? And again, the way I scalp is I stay barely out of the money, so like 30, 40 cents out of the money max, or I stay at the money. It depends on where the SPY price is in terms of choosing whether I'm going in the money, barely out the money. But in terms of how I like to profit, it's barely out of the money, 30, 40 cents on SPY price, or I just stay out the money. I get in, I get out, like a sniper, like a scalper, within minutes. And within those minutes, I can make a 20, 30, 40% return. So every $1,000 I'm putting into those contracts, that's a $200 profit, $300 profit, $400 profit. If you're a day trader, it's a lot more lucrative with the SPX contracts. But again, I'm a scalper. If I want to learn and try to become a day trader, that is something I can do. Not that I have to, because all you need to do is be successful in one skill set to continue to compound your wealth in a sense. And then when you outgrow that and reach higher levels, that's when you have to learn other skill sets to flip and manage your money with businesses and stuff like that, right? But scalping is very, very lucrative, and I stick to what I do best. I am interested in attempting to grow as a day trader as well, but I have so many more opportunities than just trading. You know, I have business opportunities, social media plays, investments, a lot of stuff like that. But anyways, let's discuss our levels for puts. In terms of our levels for put options and going short with the market, it is going to be the following. This is going to be a level where the SPY tries to drop first. Now, it's going to be considered our worst level, but it is going to try to drop first. I am valuing this at our worst level, so I will use a very, very tight stop loss. We will be keeping our eyes on $433.23. This is key resistance. The SPY is going to try to drop at that level first before pushing higher. I don't value this to be anything special though. So this is going to be my worst level for puts on the price ladder that I'll be sharing with you towards the end of this video. Now, our next best levels for puts are going to be the following. We are waiting for this key resistance. Look at this key resistance that we've been waiting for. We've been patiently waiting for the SPY to hit this key resistance level because we are disciplined. We know our levels. They take days to trigger. They take weeks to trigger. But when it happens, that's when we take the money out of the market. And then when we take that money out of the market, we keep that money. And then when we're keeping that money, we are planning to take more money out of the market. And then we utilize the money that we kept to take more money out of the market and multiply it and compound our accounts. And then we launch businesses and then we invest into our dreams and selves and other ambitions. That's what we do within the stock market. Now, in terms of our next level for puts, it is going to be this level right here. It is going to be 435.20. We have a little zone right here. Look at the crazy bull trap right here. Even though it's not real or whatever, just look at this, man. This extended hours nonsense stuff gives it all away. 435.20, and you have a lot of bearish wicks that have not been tested at 435.40, 435.50. That will be our next level for puts. Also keep an eye on 435.80. That wider zone, we are interested in going short, and we are interested in doing put options. Now, our last level for puts, which would be our best level, is going to be right here. We are planning to use the gap close reversal strategy. So we have a gap that's waiting to fill above right here at 438.60. 438.60 to 439 is going to be key resistance to do put options and go short on the market. Another level where we are looking to potentially do puts. Oh yeah, it's going to be right here. Look, this is it. This is it. 439.90. This is previous support. This previous support is going to try to react as a resistance because the SPY, when it cracked this support right here, it had a nice drop and then it gapped down and then it continued to sell off. So when we go back to this zone, 439.90, previous support is going to try to react as a resistance, and the gap right here is going to try to react as a resistance, 438.60. That zone is going to be a great zone for puts. Write down those two levels. First level is a gap close reversal, 438.60. Another key level is 439.90. That could be a potential day trade idea, especially if you tried puts, if you got a solid average towards the upper end of that zone and you're scaling in. So the low end of the zone is 438.80 and the high end of the zone is 439.80. So if you get a nice average, you're scaling in towards the upper end of that zone, that should be a phenomenal day trading opportunity. So I'm not a day trader in a sense, I'm a scalper, but during these videos, I will start mentioning some day trading levels, and that's considered a day trading level. But again, I encourage you to scalp, and that's what I do best. But for those of you who are interested in day trading, holding some for bigger win, you could do both. You could scalp, leave some small winners, 20, 30% onto ride. We're going to go with more overbought levels for the day trade for puts and more oversold levels for the day trade for calls. So another phenomenal day trading level for calls, which can be considered more than a scalp. And again, I just scalp these, but what can be considered more to a scalp where you try to aim for a bigger win, 425.80, 425.80 for calls. So look, man, that's my analysis. That's how we're going to take money out the market. Super simple. We trade what we see, right? We're not going to blindly trade patterns. We're not going to blindly let things bias us, right? So Will, if you were to be biased and you were to go into what the most likely outcome is, I already told you, the market is going to try to chop, push higher. When it pushes higher towards our key levels for puts, that's when it drops. But it's going to try to chop in a zone. It's not going to flash crash. If we do flash crash, then 425.80 should be the exact bottom. So even if we, even if I trade the chop plan and I get stopped out, I'm going to make all my money back on calls at the lower levels, right? It's going to work regardless. I trade what I see. I don't blindly trade a biased pattern. I trade what I see and I react accordingly to what I see at my key levels, whether it's reacting as a support level or reacting as a resistance level. That's what I do. But in the back of my mind, I do have a sense on the most likely outcome. And I told you what my most likely outcome is. That doesn't mean it's going to be right, but that's where trading what you see and reacting accordingly to what you see comes in handy instead of just blindly trading the plan beforehand, right? We have our key levels. We know where it's going to go if it reacts to support, reacts to resistance, and that's what the price ladder is for. So this is the price ladder for the short term. If one of these levels reacts as a floor, reacts to support, we spike up to the next level. If one of these levels reacts as a resistance, reacts as a roof, we spike down to the next level. So let's go over that. The top is going to be 439.80. Previous support should react as a resistance. Phenomenal level for puts. The gap reversal, great level for puts, 438.60. That's a zone where you can consider day trading as well if you like. And then in terms of our next level, that's a big drop, 435.80 to 435.20. That's a key zone to scalp and try puts on. The next level under that is going to be 433.30. That's going to be one of our worst levels to potentially attempt to buy puts on for a very, very quick scalp with a super tight stop, nothing special. Our next level under that is going to be $431 to $430, that overall support zone. I am not too interested in trading at that zone. I will say in advance, the SPY is going to try to bounce at 430 first, but I am not interested in potentially trading at that zone. But this is part of the ladder. And if I see a potential trade, if I see a potential confirmation, because I'm an expert and I trade price action, I trade what I see, I don't just trade levels based off of a video, then I will look to trade, with smaller size at that level, right? But in terms of this video, that would not be a recommend where I would recommend any beginner to consider trading, right? Now, in terms of our next level below 430 is going to be 429.30. I'm not too interested in trading at that level. I'll keep an eye on it. Now, our next level under that, and this is going to be an amazing level to buy calls. I would love to scalp calls at this level. It is going to be the pre-market lows. The pre-market lows of today, which was 428.23. Now, our next level below that, if the SPY wants to go super bearish and do what I think it's not going to do in a sense, not that that matters because I trade what I see, but if the SPY does want to go bearish and turn that into a roof and flip bearish, then 425.80, we are buying calls. Those are the zones. Those are the key levels. As you can see, some brackets are smaller than others, right? And then that's where big losses get created. That's also where big wins get created because people don't understand the brackets. They don't understand the zones. They don't understand the potentials of the levels, right? There can be great levels for calls, but if SPY cracks that amazing level for calls, you're stuck bag holding because the next support level is like 3 points below. And then same thing for puts. There can be great levels for puts, but if it doesn't work out, the next resistance level is 3 points above, and then you're stuck bag holding, right? We get in and out very, very quickly. We scalp like snipers. G-Roar is a different breed, and what he has mastered is day trading SPX contracts. If you are a day trader and you have, I would say, a medium-sized account, the best way to go about it in terms of developing a strategy with the best risk to reward ratio and the littlest risk involved would be SPX contracts, because SPX contracts offer the biggest percentage gains. And if you're doing zero dates later on throughout the day, or if you're doing zero dates where they start to become a little bit out of the money and you can, in a sense, find a big move where they become in the money, if you're wrong, you're going to lose like 50% within fairly quickly in a sense, right? They're going to become worthless. But if you're G-Roar, you're going to make 2, 3, 400%. So for example, this guy had a trade today where he made 400%. So his win rate's 85%. Now let's say he's trading with the same size, right? He's trading with the same size every single day. He's trading with a smaller account, and he's using a cash account in a sense, right? So in that sense, if he enters 3 trades and each one of those trades are 50% losses, he just lost 150%. But if he enters 1 trade and then he makes 300%, you do the math, he's up 150% on the day with the size that he traded. And you could do that with a cash account. So like, let's say you're trading SPX towards later in the day and you're going with further out of the money contracts. Contracts will be $2, $3, so let's say they're $2, right? Contract he bought was under $2. Say you're buying a $2 contract, that's $200. Say you have $10,000. So if you have $10,000, you're putting in 2% of your account, you're putting in $200. You can make, with a cash account, you can make plenty of trades. You can make more, you can make over 10 trades using a cash account options. So you have the equity to make the trades on the account, and you can flip that. You can flip that into big profits very, very quickly. That's why I say he's the best, because he works in percentage tiles. People go wrong because they don't understand percentiles. They take big risks. Most traders' biggest flaw with options, and this is why they're never successful, is because they don't have the right account set up. They don't use the cash account. They size too big. They're not sizing accordingly, and they don't have a strategic strategy that works for them, that makes sense for their trading style, and their trading style has to align with the contracts that they're choosing, with the strike price, with the option price. But once you start to figure this stuff out, you start to realize how simple and how easy it is with a decent size cushion, where you can just compound this account and grow it because people don't understand this simple stuff, man. That's what this is, man. This is a game of taking money out of the market, and you have to identify your edge. My edge is scalping. I trade like a sniper. His edge is the best. He's a day trader. And since he hits the big wins, and since he created a strategy where he buys cheap out of the money contracts and sells them in the money for a massive win, when he's right, 200, 300, 400%. When he's wrong, 50% loss, 70% loss. Size is in the same on every trade in a sense, has the proper risk management, has the proper account size, does what he's supposed to do. He's able to push to the top, and he's able to have the best risk to reward ratio. His percentage wins will always outweigh any loss he has. His win rate is an icing on the cake. Since his risk to reward ratio is so this guy can likely be profitable on a 25% win rate, which is truly incredible. But if you're good, your win rate should be 80% minimum once you get there. So I'm going to leave it off at that. I want to give a big shout out to my Team Trader Society. We will continue to push harder. We will continue to grow. There's going to be some serious changes that I'm making within my company where we will be launching new programs. It is going to be recurring, and it is going to cost a lot more money. The best time to get involved with us if you are looking for the best deal and to invest into yourself is going to be right now, and that's going to be the first link down below in the description if you would like to join us. With that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow live towards market open. I'm truly blessed and grateful to be working with the team that I'm working with, because not only are we helping them change my life, but they're helping me change my life mentally for the better. And I'm truly blessed to have the network that I've come across, because this network is the reason why I sacrificed so much in my life. They helped me sacrifice a lot of my bad habits. They helped me sacrifice a lot of things that I didn't need in my life. And now I'm going after the things that I'm supposed to be going after, and my life is excelling. And I will continue to push forward to that. I will continue to be grateful, and I will continue to be working, for being more positive. I'm truly blessed to be surrounded by this network. I will see you guys tomorrow. We will absolutely crush it. Let's have our green day. And the green streak starts tomorrow. G-Roar, since we fused together. Will Roar, G-Roar, since we fused, he hasn't had one red day. He's on 16 green days now. I was on day 14 or day 15. I had my first red day on Friday since we fused. Now I'm back in the green, and tomorrow's the day where the green streak lives on. I will see you in the chat tomorrow.